What's up everyone? Welcome back to Just Finish Coding. This is part 2 of our Night Tour series on Scratch 3. So let's get coding.
Just finished coding.
Now quick interjection here, if you've not watched part 1, please watch it before you come here because we're picking up from where we left off and you'll be very lost. I'll leave a card for you right here. Please watch the video and then come right back. If you've watched part 1, then please remain and you can get into the more complicated parts now, and let's do that in our chessboard sprite. So now scroll down below where you have ample space, and from my blocks click on make a block, and this block is going to be called get x comma y, and like I mentioned in the previous part, this is going to get the particular x and y coordinates based on the mouse x and mouse y values. So the inputs I'm going to add in are going to be called not mouse x comma mouse y, it's going to be mouse y comma mouse x, and not really a comma if you think about it. I'm going to add in two inputs, so mouse y and mouse x. And if you really think about it, the way I structure the coordinates, which is not the best way of structuring the coordinates, but it works out in our case. Now this top left coordinate, I'm going to hide in the accessible squares list right there. Perfect. And I'm going to double click the score and make it like this gigantic icon. So once you're done with that, you should be able to move stuff around pretty easily and see the entire board. Alright, anyway, so I'm just going to click the green flag and now you can see the board's pretty centered. Alright, so the mouse, so the coordinates, so the coordinate on the top left is going to be 1 comma 1, and this is going to be 1 comma 2 if you're following my mouse pointer. Now if you really think about it, the thing which is changing our y value, assuming our coordinates are in the form x comma y, is not our y value along our axis, but the x value along our axis. So the y coordinate is influenced by the x-axis, and the x-axis influences the y coordinate. Not sure if I'm making any sense here, but basically that's what makes us use these things in opposite order. Okay, don't worry too much about it now. It's a little bit later that things will get a little bit confusing. So now I'm going to have another counter set up for this sprite only, and this is going to be, I'm going to call it C once again. You can call it anything you want though. So initially I'm going to set C to be not 0 but 1. Okay, and now I'm going to repeat 8. So head over to control, grab a repeat, and I'm going to set it up to be 8. So first we're going to have our y coordinate. Okay, so now I'm going to have an AND condition within our if then. So I'm going to grab an AND and then an if then from control, and what I'm going to have right here is, oops, so I'm going to have an AND inside that, and the condition is going to be a little bit complicated. So what I'm going to have is a greater than on one side and a lesser than on the other side. Okay, just follow me along right here, don't worry too much about what I'm doing. And now you want to grab the mouse x value and put it in the first coordinate, and inside your second coordinate, or not this coordinate, in your box, you want to grab first an addition block from operators, and then after that you want to grab a multiplied by block. Okay, so once you grab that multiplied by block, put it in your second one, and now within this, once again you want to grab a minus. So once you're done with that, that's pretty much all you're going to have to set up within the first if then. And right here you're going to have the value of start y. So grab a start y right there, and after that you're going to have the value of c minus 1, and this whole thing is going to be times a value which is going to be called square dim, and this is going to hold how big our particular square is inside our chessboard. Now we'll be fixing that value a little bit later on, I think, in our night sprite, so don't worry too much about that, but just make sure you know what it does. Okay, so put in square dim right there. Perfect. Now we need to get into the AND condition, and for that things are going to be pretty similar, so you can duplicate this, and here's what you need to do. So first head over to operators, grab a less than, well actually we put that in there, so I'm going to just scroll up to my right, and instead of the second parameter, what we need to do is to put mouse x in the first parameter itself, and within our second one I'm going to drag and drop this. Now obviously this will lead to no output because we're checking if something is greater than and less than the same thing, which is just not possible. But we are going to change C from C minus 1 to be just C. And this is going to be pretty much it. That is all we're going to have inside our if then condition. And if this is the case, what we're going to do is to set y coordinate, and I don't think we've set it up yet, so I'm going to make a variable called y core, and this is going to hold the coordinate in the y axis. I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to set y coordinate to be the C value. So set y core to be C. And that's pretty much it for our y coordinate. Now we can get into our x coordinate. So for our x coordinate, things are going to be pretty simple, and just looking at my code, I just realized I didn't add a change C by 1. So make sure you add that. Okay, so this is going to constantly increment and check through each row, or rather each column in our case, whether that particular value is where our mouse y lies. So if mouse y was between like this value and this value, for example, then our coordinate is going to be 1. If it was between this value and this value, our coordinate is going to be 2. That's what this whole repeat 8 does. Okay, so now we can duplicate this entire thing because there aren't too many changes within our code, but there are still a few changes nonetheless. Okay, so I'm going to grab a couple of mouse y's from the top and scroll down below. So for your condition, for your greater than, you're just going to put in mouse y, but now instead of start y, you're going to put in start x, because like I mentioned, it's not, these values are going to be opposite because our start x corresponds to the y coordinate and start y corresponds to the x coordinate. And after this, okay, unlike the start x values, you're not going to have a plus right here, but you're going to have a minus. So take out your entire minus times and also this one. Okay, so now what you want to do is head over to operators, grab in a minus, put in the start x on the first one, and this entire c minus 1 times squared dim. And once again, you want to make another change because our y-axis is the maximum at the top, whereas our x-axis is the least on the left side of the x-axis. So what I'm going to do is to grab in just a c right here. So things are going to be kind of inverted if you think about it. Okay, and I'm going to put this entire thing inside this first minus. Okay, and now you can duplicate this instead of like this entire code right here and just throw this code out and just keep this greater than symbol. And what you want to do right here is going to be this. You want to move mouse y to the first blank, and you want to change this once again. So you're going to grab from operators a minus, change that c to be c minus 1, and you can put this entire thing within your second blank, and that would be pretty much it. So this is going to find out your x coordinate. So make sure you set x core to be c and not y core to be c. So I'm going to say set x core to be c. Perfect. Now once you've set up x core, things are pretty simple. Just click x core in that menu and you are done with this entire function. Now we haven't used that function yet, and that's what we'll be doing right now. So using the function is going to be very, very easy. So just head over to events, grab a when I receive x comma y, and what I'll do is, it was supposed to be find x comma y, I believe. So I can't really rename a message, so I'm just going to leave it. Anyway, so when I receive find x comma y, what I'm going to do is to call in that function. So I'm going to head over to blocks and grab get x comma y. And now instead of mouse x and mouse y, you can see right here itself, we had mouse y and mouse x set up. What I'm going to do is to put in the mouse y and mouse x parameters inside. So once you're done with this, this will give you your coordinates. But there are a couple of things you need to check before you broadcast the message, which is going to move the night. So let me just give you some perspective right here. Okay, so if we hit the green flag and now click on the particular square, you can see nothing really happens. And the reason for that is a little bit off right now. I'm not going to explain that for now. Just assume that your x and y values give you your particular coordinates. Okay. Now, once you're done with that, these coordinates are going to be something. But only we do want to move the night only if those coordinates are present in the truly accessible squares list. Now, if they are not present in that particular list, then obviously we do not want to add them. We do not want to move our night, because if they're not in the truly accessible squares list, it either means they do not exist or they've been already occupied. So what we need to do is to grab an if then from the control section, and now we need to have a simple condition check. Okay, actually we're going to check for two conditions, and the second one is going to be based on that prelim variable which we set all the way back, but I'm not going to get into that too much for now. So I'm going to say if, and now head over to variables within our list. Now you can see this block of code which says if accessible squares contains thing, and we want to change that to be truly accessible squares. And from events, grab this join apple banana, and we want to do something similar to what we did when we added all of those things up. So I'm going to grab where's that? Yeah, xcore comma ycore. That's going to be our join, and only if our truly accessible squares contains this particular value, only then are we going to even broadcast that message. Okay, so if truly accessible squares contains that particular thing, I'm going to do a couple of things. Okay, so first I'm going to set score added to be no, because at this point we haven't incremented our score just as yet. And now I'm going to broadcast the obvious message, which is going to be called move knight, and that's going to be responsible for moving our knight. And once you set that up, now you want to do one last thing at the end of this, and that's going to be that whole prelim variable thing. And this is going to be a set, oops, not make a new variable, set prelim back to where's that? Yeah, set prelim back to be false. Okay, that's pretty much it. And at the beginning, what we're going to do is to check if prelim is true. So we set prelim to be true at the beginning. So now I'm going to just say if prelim equal true, then this is the case. So the reason I'm doing this whole prelim thing is just so that we have this set up once. So right at the beginning, when the user clicks on the particular square, obviously that square isn't going to be in our truly accessible squares list, because our truly accessible squares list does not really even contain anything. So at the beginning, we're just going to say ignore this condition, and I already made a small mistake here. You do not want an and will lead to an error. You want to have an or. Okay, so make sure you have that in place. And where was I? Yeah, the prelim. So the prelim is going to be just allowing us to bypass that condition once, but the second time, once the user has already clicked on the square he wants to start, prelim's already going to be false, and so this condition has to be true for all of this to execute. So that's the general idea. And I think I'm really out of time right here. So that's it. We'll be coding in this video. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you leave a like, and also don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.